Steps to healing your inner child. It's really inevitable that as you are healing from complex post-traumatic stress disorder, that you are going to run into triggers. Yeah, it's basically like, imagine that you are, filled with all these wounds from your childhood, imagine you have like Band-Aids all over the place, Um, so when you're encountering, people in the physical world, it's inevitable that there is going to be, in many situations, you will find hopefully some relationships that are going to be just nurturing and beautiful, and God will give you those things of grace, because I think through this, there'll be so many triggering interactions and relationships. And I think number one is, I'll just use my last job as an example. I had originally had a job with 2 kids, and then it became 3. And when they told me that it was going to become 3 kids, I just kind of went, okay. And so I took on the job of 3 kids, and it was so triggering. So the first thing, that is natural for us is we want to just keep trying and trying and trying to make it work. And so just be really gentle with yourself and acknowledge that is just, again, how we were conditioned in our childhood. It's also really important to say to yourself, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Because also from our childhood, we learned to blame ourselves. Our parents blamed us for their abuse, and we were shamed and blamed. So because of their blame shifting, then anything just feels like it's our fault. So it's important just to say, this is not your fault, instead of like, because we often will go into like I shouldn't have taken that job, and why was I so stupid, and what was I thinking? And then we go into like this kind of shame and blame kind of mode, and that really, it really doesn't help. It doesn't help to heal, certainly. And sometimes we might fool ourselves into thinking that we're kind of empowering ourselves by saying, well, but I was an adult and it was my choice, and I'm not a victim anymore, and that was just a poor choice on my account, and I have to take responsibility and all that stuff. While all that is true, that's not where we want to go first. We want to just keep that in the back of our mind and put that aside and deal with our inner child's feelings, because this is a flashback. If you've been triggered, it's a flashback. You are now emotionally, you've gone into, your emotional limbic system. And so it's really important now to really see it from a child's point of view, to like imagine, just try to pinpoint those feelings. It's really important to, first, of course, you're going to be like, well, he's doing this and she's doing that, and I can't believe they're doing that. But then to also flip it around, and what is that behavior triggering in you? Like, I feel so infuriated, and I feel so, I feel so angry, and I feel so ashamed and so disappointed, or whatever those feelings are. And at this stage too, I would even encourage, sort of like those non-real feeling words like unsupported or abandoned or abused or betrayed. All those words, that they're not really feeling words, they're actually perceptions. But I feel like when you're in that kind of little girl mode, I think, or little boy mode, I think it's okay to even use things like, I feel so unsupported, I feel so abandoned, I feel so used and abused, and use those words as well, but also to use like actual feeling words. So abandoned. What is that? I feel sad, I feel ashamed, I feel alone. And so to break those words down too. Yeah. And yeah, so once we're there, then we can to start to validate our child's emotions. So we can start, saying, yeah, of course you feel angry. It's so understandable that you feel angry, you're, and, you're working for some people and they're not even supporting you. Of course you feel angry. And of course you feel overwhelmed. You're trying to care for 3 children, 4 and under, and to really just validate that for yourself. And, it's so understandable that you're feeling like you're being abandoned, and that's so understandable. And then we can go even, into a more tender place, and really just, give yourself a hug, and like just imagine that you're, use even language that you would use like with a 3-year-old or a 6-year-old, like, I know it's so unfair and they're being so mean to you. And yeah, it's so hard, isn't it? And you must feel so mad. And, really, get into imagining what that is like for your inner child, because that's where the healing is. And then you can hopefully get to the point of, really feeling those feelings of anger or sadness or fear or whatever is going on. And so to really just really give yourself that tenderness and that comfort. And we're staying away from the logical place. We're just going into this is the feeling that's coming up. It is real. It may not seem, rational. It doesn't have to seem rational. It can be completely irrational. That's okay. Yeah, because often when we are triggered, it is quite, our reaction is much more, there's a lot stronger than, what the trigger actually is. Yeah. And then, just really, really give yourself some compassion. I know, sweetheart, it's so hard right now. And it must be so infuriating for you. And, I'm here for you. And, you're safe with me. And give yourself permission to cry, because many of us too did not have that kind of permission. So it's okay to cry now. It's okay to let this go. And, you just rub your arms, or, give whatever comfort feels right for you, or just hand on the heart. And, I'm here with you. It's safe to let this go. It's okay to cry, or it's okay to feel angry, and just give yourself permission to have these feelings. So, yeah. And then after you've released all those feelings, right? After you've processed, then you'll just naturally feel empowered, because once you've processed the emotions, and you'll realize, oh, I don't want to be in this situation anymore. And, quit your job, or, you'll move out of that situation, because now that wound inside you has been healed. As long as we have that wound, then if we just leave without processing the feeling, then we're just going to experience it again somewhere else, unfortunately, which is utterly frustrating and seems very unfair in itself, that, after being abused for years as a child, that you have to now re-experience it as an adult. And it seems like, I think sometimes I know personally, I've had my sessions of just yelling at God, and it's okay to do that too. Like, just to say, like, this whole thing is just unfair, it wasn't fair what happened to you, and it wasn't your fault. So I hope that brought you some kind of inspiration or help today. And I am Davina. And just like you, I am recovering from complex post-traumatic stress disorder and narcissistic abuse. And I am wishing you many, many blessings on your journey of healing and awakening. And you can find me at Boldness Blooming. Thank you for watching.